Hello everyone, so today I'll be using Oracle's Virtualbox to install Windows 10. So if you haven't downloaded this already, you could just go to Oracle's website and download it. I'll leave a link in the video description, so I'm just going to get started. Dive right in, okay. So I'm going to create an image of Windows 10. I don't want it in C drive, so I'm going to put it in another hard drive. I think I'll put it in E drive. I'll make a folder called Windows 10. You could get there by doing this, or you could press Alt Control N. Just make this folder, so I'm going to put it in here, select this folder. Windows 10. So I'm going to select the operating system, so that's Windows 10 64-bit. That's what I want. Next. So the minimum requirement for Windows 10, let me check it out. It says right here, system requirement for Windows 10 is 2 GB of RAM for a 64-bit operating system, at least 1 GHz of processing power, and requires at least 20 GB. Okay, hard drive space. So I have to know that before I start. Since I have a lot of RAM on this computer, I'll give it 4 GB, because I have 32 GB of RAM on this machine, so that's good. So I'm going to create a virtual hard disk, because I do not have an existing one for Windows 10. I'm going to select this right here, VHD. Next. Let's see, storage on physical hard drive. I'm going to create a fixed hard drive, fixed size. So it says you need at least 20, so I want to keep it at the bare minimum, so I want 25 GB. And I want to save it to E drive, so it does that automatically because I select the E drive anyways in the beginning, so yes. This may take a little bit of time to create. So I want to create this Windows 10 virtual machine, because I want to kind of like use it as a proxy thing. So if I want to check my emails and stuff, and there's something malicious in the email, and I accidentally click on a link, my actual computer, this computer is not going to be affected by it. The only thing that's going to get affected is that virtual machine, and I'm going to make several copies of that virtual machine, or that that hard drive, that hard drive image with Windows 10 on it, and put it on different hard drives. So I'm going to have at least maybe 2 or 3 copies of it. So if that virtual machine with the virtual Windows 10 hard drive does get infected with something, I'll simply delete it, and I will just mount another image of Windows 10 on it. So basically that's what I'm going to do. So it's kind of like a replaceable thing, so they can infect it and do whatever the heck they want to it, but it's not going to affect my actual computer. So I'm going to kind of like use that to just check email and stuff like that. So I don't want to put my computer at risk for any of that. So yeah, so it'll be kind of like a proxy computer. So that's what I'm going to be using it for. I was doing this with a Windows 7 image, but I guess Windows 7 is a bit outdated. So I'll just use a more modern operating system to do that. Like Windows 10. And you can create many different virtual machines with many different operating systems. I have one for Windows XP. I kind of like use that to use older software like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office 2003, and stuff like that. And you just can't use that on a more modern operating system like Windows 10. So, and there's other programs that I have in there that I can't use for Windows 10. So I kind of like use that as a virtual machine. And I also install different distros of Linux so I could just play around with it, to learn about that specific operating system. And before I did install operating systems like Windows 95 and 98, Windows 2000, and stuff like Windows NT on virtual machines, just to play around with it. So it's a good thing to know how to use, definitely. Okay, so now I need to go to settings here, and I need to set it up. So basic. Looks good. That's good also. Video memory, I guess 128 is good. Yes, I do want to enable 3D acceleration. Okay, that looks good. Storage. So I'm going to put a virtual disk in there. A hard drive image, basically. And my image of Windows 10 is here, so I'm going to link it to that, and I'm going to boot from that, basically. So now I'm going to start right now. So I'm going to boot from my optical drive. Start my virtual machine. So I have to boot from my virtual ISO file. So it's an ISO file of a DVD of Windows 10 on it. So I have to do that to install Windows 10, of course. Install now. And before you use virtual machines, make sure you go into your BIOS and enable virtualization, or it won't work. Okay, I'm going to install Home on it. So you could select what you want to install on here. Pro is probably the best. I have that installed on my main computer. Okay. Okay, so I want to install it here. New one. Apply. Next. Now it's installing Windows 10. So I just created a hard drive partition, and now I'm installing Windows 10 on that new partition, basically. And I guess at the time when Windows XP came out, they greatly simplified the process of installing an operating system on a computer, because you didn't have to go into F-disk and do all that partition stuff. It basically did it automatically, like how you just saw now. I don't have to go to a separate thing and create a partition, which was a little more involved. But with modern operating systems, they just simplified the process, so anyone could basically do it. So now I'm installing my operating system on it. It may take 10 minutes or so, I'm not really sure. Virtualization is used in a lot of servers, and so you would need a pretty powerful computer in order to use virtual machines. Don't try to use it on some low-powered machine, because you're not going to get good results, right? The computer should have a lot of cores on it, like a computer with a Xeon processor. Well, for this computer, I'm not using a Xeon processor. I do have computers with Xeon processors, but for this demonstration, I'm not using that, because I don't have a video recording device on that computer. So I'm just showing you this as kind of like on how to do it, basically, and I can't do that on that computer. So usually I would use virtualization on a Xeon based machine, which may have anywhere from like 8 to 12 cores with 24 virtual cores. So a computer like that is ideally made to run virtualization, and a lot of servers use Xeon processors, and virtualization is used, basically. So that's the thing about it. So but on my on this computer, this is i7-4790K. This was the fastest i7 4th generation CPU. So this computer should be able to handle it without a problem. If I'm just running one virtual machine, I don't think I'm going to have any problems running it. So let's kind of like skip past this instead of watching this thing. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Okay. So I don't want to boot from the image. So I don't press enter or anything. So I want to boot from the hard drive image with Windows 10 on it now. Okay, it's working. That did take quite a bit of time. I thought it crashed, but it didn't. Just slow. I want to check how much processing power this thing is taking up here. So that's Control Shift Escape. So I'm using about 21 to 28% of my CPU power, and 31% of my memory. So as you can see, I have 32 gigabytes, so I have plenty of RAM. Let me go back here. When I install Windows, I like to go to Customize. I say no to here, no, 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 no for that as well. No, no, no. Everything's no. No, no, no. Okay, good. It's a lot faster on actual hardware, by the way. And now I want to check my resource usage. And put that here side by side so you can see it. I'm also using the screen capture, which is also using up some CPU power, about 10.5%. Virtualbox is using about 17 to 19%. Okay, so okay, I own it. You don't have to use a MSN or a Microsoft Live account. You could just go here to skip this step to get past that and just create a username. For me, it's this. And I'll create a password. No, don't use Cortina. I don't like Cortina. Windows 10, I think, is a pretty good operating system. I really like it. Um, it really does a lot of great things. Like you don't even have to install drivers for um, like stuff like printers and scanners and stuff like that, because Windows 10 will automatically find drivers for your devices and install them. But it doesn't always do that perfectly. Sometimes you do have to install additional software in addition to the drivers that make some devices work. So that's the thing. But it does for most printers and stuff. It will just find the driver and install it, and it should just work. Before you weren't able to do that. You needed to install the driver to get anything to work. But for this thing, it's automatic. It's kind of like automation in a way. And it keeps your system updated, which is good. So you don't have to do very much. You just have to use it. So for Windows 10, it would be a good idea to leave it on most of the time, so that Windows 10 could just keep your system up to date. That would be the ideal, but that would use up a lot of energy. So if you don't care about that, then it's just best to just leave your computer on most of the time, but not all the time. Just, I guess you could turn it off like once or twice a week or something, which is not a bad idea. Now it's doing its thing, so I have to wait. Right now it's just reading the hard drive like that. That means it's working. So if you had a very slow computer, this usage could be as much as 50%. So if you have a fast computer, the difference is it's just not going to use up a lot of your system resources. If you had just like 8 gigabytes of RAM, it'd be probably using more than 50% of your memory. So keep that in mind when you're using a Virtualbox Like, don't try to use it on a crappy computer. Okay, let's kind of like skip through this. I think this is going to take a while. Okay, now it's done. That's it. Got my operating system. I'm going to use full screen. Switch. See if the internet works. It's a bit slow, but that could be expected. It is just virtualization. I like using Firefox. Okay, save as. I want to see how many system resources it's using up. Okay, not too bad. My computer is handling it pretty good. Okay. I want to put this on my desktop, so there it is. Okay. Check a few things. Let's see the system. Okay, 4 gigabytes. It shows what my computer processor is. Okay, great. few other things I want to do. So it's not activated, so it says activate now. Desktop icons. So if it's not activated, you can't even do this. So you have to activate it, okay. But I'm not activating it because I'm not going to really be using it for anything other than just checking emails. No, I don't want OneDrive. I don't want it. Okay, that's good enough. Let me shut this down. Got what I wanted. Okay, good. So what I want to do now is I want to do something else. I want to get that hard drive image and store it somewhere. I put it in virtualization. In Windows 10, okay. So that's for Windows 32, XP32. Definitely I want to copy it somewhere else, safe, so I don't. So if it does get infected or something and get damaged, I don't have to worry about it. Let's see, I'm gonna put it in. What I just did was alternate control. Right. Keep forgetting it. Okay, this virtualization, so I'm going to put it here. This hard drive image is going to be backed up here. It's quite a large file, about 27 gigabytes. I mean, not 27, about 25 gigabytes. Large file it is. Just let it do its thing. Back it up. I'm going to cancel that. Okay, go back to storage. Remove disk from virtual drive, that's how you do it, and press OK. I want to go to the CPU or system processor. I want to increase that to 2 cores. That 1 core was too damn slow. Acceleration, okay, all that's good. Okay, I want to change a few settings in here. Now I want to see if there's going to be a small performance difference or not. It's a little bit faster. I think I have to go in there and change the resolution, which I will be doing now. Okay. So I want to use a higher resolution. Let's try this. Keep changes. Okay, that is much better. Okay. Now I'm going to go to full screen, right Control F. As you can see now, it looks a lot better than it did before. Okay, let's check it out, test it out a little bit. Not now. Okay. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. I think it'll be good enough for me to use it to check emails and stuff. That's not going to be a problem at all. So I think that's it. So let me get out of here. This thing's not in scale. That's the problem. Control C. Okay, so to get out of it, it's right Control C. Right Control C to go back to this. So I have to use it in scaled mode, I guess. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, I think that's it. So it's right Control C to use scaled mode. Get out of here. Okay, that's it. Anyways, thanks for watching by Ace 1000KS. 1975 signing out.